Hi, I'm Wendy Dennis of Culinary Q, and also I do cooking demos for the Wakefield Farmers Market in Wakefield, Mass. And although this segment is about my recipe entry into the Bon Appetit and Mushroom Council Blended Burger Contest, it also is using just about everything from the farmers market, from our local farmers. So there you go. So first I'm going to start with, the whole idea of the contest is to stretch the ground beef or what, ground beef further than if you just use just beef in your burgers. And I've added an extra punch because I'm also adding other veggies in with the mushrooms to then add to the burger. So here's what I'm going to do. The whole idea is, I'll do this on this burger so you can see, the whole idea is to cook, you cook down the mushrooms before you add them into the ground beef. What I'm doing is I'm going to dry roast. Now this is 8 ounces of mushrooms. I've tested the recipe with just plain old white button mushrooms. Works fine. This happens to be a portobello and some shiitakes from Fat Moon Mushrooms, which are sold at our farmers market here in Wakefield, Mass. So I'm just going to put these in. I forget where I heard about dry roasting mushrooms, but I was originally did it with one of those lime main ones. I think that's what it was. And it came out great. But I figured I would dry roast because it doesn't. I think it intensifies the flavor. So it's going to take a little while. I'm not going to make you watch me. So I will be back. Okay, so these have been cooking for a couple of minutes, but they're still, see how shiny and watery? Not done yet. Look at all that condensation coming out. So we really want them dry, otherwise they're going to... If you were just doing mushrooms and the burger, you can just saute them in oil if you want. But because I'm also adding a mixture of finely diced or shredded cabbage, carrot, and onion into the burger, just to give it even more of a veggie punch. But I've tested this a few times. The first time I dry roasted the mushrooms, took them out of the pan, sauteed the cabbage and carrot, added the mushrooms back. And while that was cooking, made the coleslaw. Actually, it was able to prep the whole thing ready to go on the grill or in a pan in just about an hour. Just so you know. It could be quicker if you cook the mushrooms and the veggie mix simultaneously. I don't know if it makes that, but then you dirty 2 cans. Now, today I'm doing something a little different. I'm going to do these in 2 different batches. 2 burgers. I'm going to have just the regular cabbage, red cabbage you get any time of year, which I did happen to get all of these from Farmer Dave's. Oops, let's make sure we don't saute them too much, shall we? No burning. So I'm doing these because the other 2 burgers I thought I would use, here I'll show you. Oops, I spill all the water. I was just freshening this. It's hot soy or Chinese flat cabbage or whatever, but I got this from Farmer Dave, and I figured I'd try this. It's not in just 2 of the burgers, not all of them, because if it doesn't come out right, I still want to have a good dinner tonight. But anyway, so I used this. It's about equal leaf stem amounts, about 2.5 leaves. But I went up to 3 ounces instead of the 2 ounces of cabbage because there's more moisture. And because I know it's going to cook down more. And I don't want it to be too mushy because then it's going to be too mushy. Because whoops, turn this down. Time for my trusty fish spatula. Really great to scrape things off when you're stuck. Or just when you really need a nice sharp. I like when you're frying fish. It's just hence why it's called a fish spatula. Anyway, I'm gonna, these are getting close, but I am going to straighten up all the big bits. I'm going to put this on very low, back here. Check my cabbage, let's see. Do the sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. I know the banging's really low. Forgot, whoops. I always do that, sorry. I meant to turn the fan off. I'm not a professional yet. So anyway, this looks pretty much done. I'm going to just put this, I don't want too much moisture, but put those both on low, and I'm just going to, so what's going to happen is I'm going to eventually take these mushrooms out, and normally I take them out and then saute all the cabbage and carrot, but what I'm going to do is put half in this already cooked one and half, first I'm gonna saute these. This is it's kind of confusing splitting it up, but the straight recipe is really easy. But for now, let's do the coleslaw because that's going to be the secret topping. I'm trying to make this really easy so you can just find the ingredients anywhere, any time of year. Easy and preps in an hour or maybe even under, and even less if one of your kids help you or something like that before you cook. So you have dinner, hour and 15 minutes maybe. Burgers don't take long. Anyway, I weigh my mayonnaise, 2 ounces per quarter cup. Go from there. So you just put this on a scale over there. Put it on a scale and throw it in until you get to your weight. So much easier than doing all that. Okay, I'm just going to throw in the rest of the ingredients. I actually have a half tablespoon measure. How convenient for when you're splitting a recipe. The recipe is, I'm doing half the recipe because Steve and I don't eat that much coleslaw. I will post this on Culinary Q, so don't worry about the amounts. Uh-oh, did I just screw that up? Oh, I put way too much pepper. Oops. I was looking at the full amount, but you know what? Steve and I like pepper, so. Anyway, and am I doing the same with salt too? Whoop, definitely don't want to overdo the salt. I like salt, but not that much. You can get, if you put too much salt in a recipe, just right punches it, but if you put too much, it's bitter. At least I find that. So what do we get? I have my recipes taped up on with magic removable tape. How much are we doing? A half a tablespoon. Isn't that what I did? Oh, that was supposed to be, what did I do? A half a tablespoon? It's supposed to be 3/4. Oh, I can fix that. 3/4 tablespoon lemon juice. Okay. And it says I only need a half a tablespoon. This is what I want. Vinegar. Did I do this right? Well, you know what? I don't have the right ingredients, right amounts of things. This is a tablespoon sugar. Everything in except my fun secret ingredient. Let me get these out of the way. Oh no, there we go. My mom always I think she always put poppy seeds. Anyway, I like to put poppy seeds. That's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Yeah, a little more. They're fun. Okay, and I'll be back with the cabbage and carrot. Okay, so the mushrooms have gotten dry roasted. Pretty much. There's still a little bit of moisture, but we'll take care of that real soon. Now, again, this is going to look a little funny because I'm doing half of the cabbage, half of it with regular cabbage and half of it with the tatsoi. So let's just pretend there's more cabbage mixture going in here. So I just put a little olive oil since there isn't going to be a ton, but rather than use a new pan, just do it here. And see, in the meantime, when those mushrooms are dry roasted, I would have done the coleslaw. Like I said, I did it all in under an hour. It's just a little more complicated today because, okay, I've just added all those ingredients. While that pan's heating up, whisk this away. Whisk. And then we'll mix it in. Oh, this is getting ready. Here we go. Now, time to saute the veggies. Guess we'll just do. What? I have my husband wear his headset while he's watching TV while I'm doing this, but I just heard something. He must be laughing or something on the show. Okay, so now this normally would have more stuff going on here. You know, more. I'm going to probably burn some of the edge, but that's all right. Okay, pictures, still pictures from one of the times where I made, the whole batch at once. What it should look like. But I'm just sauteing away. I'm going to get a little soft, and then I'm going to add in the mushrooms, and I'm going to add some salt and pepper, and especially some salt, and then cook it a little bit more to help draw out more of the moisture. See, right now it's still wafting away, so, okay, I'm going to turn that down just a little bit so we don't burn it. So I'm curious to see what happened is, one of the times when I did a test, I just put the oil in and did the mushroom and the onion, cabbage, and carrot all together, and they fell apart. Just split down the middle. See, if you like chunks of burger, feel free to do it the fast way. Just don't expect them to hold together very well. So I'm a little concerned that with this more watery cabbage, that might be the same problem. but I'm cooking it down. I started off with a larger amount because I know it had more fluid in it. I make it way more than the same actual plant matter volume of regular cabbage. Okay, so while that's doing that, okay, I've done the whisking here. My mom taught me to totally clean up as I cook. I try to do that. I'm gonna throw the... Now, so the recipe I use for coleslaw is really simple, really easy. I like simple and easy. And it has, you know, the proportions of everything for a 14-ounce bag of shredded, you know, coleslaw mix or cabbage and carrot. So, first of all, I'm doing mine from, you know, my own veggies whole, and then slicing up. And also, I'm only doing half the amount. So it's like 6 ounces of cabbage and 1 ounce of carrots. Works. Thereabouts. I mean, you know, if you like more carrots, fine. You might want to put some onion in here. You might not want poppy seeds. You might want to put celery seed. That's another thing I think my mom did. But basically, here it is. It's this lovely coleslaw. And this is going to be the secret topping on my burger, just to make it fun. I chose coleslaw because everyone has it. Most people like it. And if you haven't, it's barbecue. Everyone has coleslaw. You can have it with your hot dogs, even if you don't want a burger. Coleslaw goes good on, you know, will go good on a veggie burger, or a tempeh burger, or whatever you're doing, tofu burger, whatever. But it goes really nice. But I just wanted to make it really simple. Like, you know, you come home from work in non-COVID time. Well, no, I know there's plenty of people out there working and risking their lives. But, you know, you come home and you want something kind of cool. You know, and it really, you know, it takes an hour prep, but... Oh, but the other thing is, you can make these, and you can store them in the fridge. I did it, and we had 2 more, like 3 or 4 days later. Fine. So you can make these ahead, which is, and also, there's going to be grilling involved in this demo. We'll bring you outside. I have one that I froze. So we're going to see how it works from frozen. That will be really fun. If that works, then these are such a winner, because you can have this like really fun gourmet tasting thing right out of your freezer. How cool is that? Okay, I'm going to add in the mushrooms so it's cooked enough. See, they're still wet. You hear the sizzle? I hear a sizzle. There's still some moisture. But now I'm going to put the salt and pepper in. Again, splitting the amount the recipe calls for between the two. And the salt helps draw out the moisture. So this will help bring out a little extra moisture just to make sure you're not going to have soggy burger bites instead of burgers. So, okay, I know, clang, clang, clang. Where's my pepper? Okay, I often grind my own, but if I don't, this is, if you can see this, it truly is the world's best ground pepper. This stuff is real good. Penzies. You smell it, it's like, so, I mean, I like to do the grind thing, but, like, and normally I guess I would for this too, but I wanted to do a little plug for the pepper. It's really good. But what this is good is when you just want it, it's very fine, just to do like a dusting on something. Oh. And it's really good. And this is, I've had this for a while, so it's not like it's brand new open, and it still smells fabulous. Okay, so, and I'm going to make you not watch for a moment while this has to cool down. I'm going to cool it down now. And I'll mix up the burgers, and then we'll go out and grill them. Oh my God, I've never done grilling. Oh, we're going to do a steak one too. Not tonight. Okay, so here we are. Oops, dirty pan. Oh well. Okay, so I'm trying to keep track of, so I'm going to try at all times to keep the one with the regular cabbage on the right. Regular, right, got it. And this is the one. So, looks a little more moist. This is the one with the tot soy. You can really see, that's that. So, oh, and also, I think this looks rather succulent and lovely. Coleslaw, it's just such a simple recipe, but it's good. It's good, it's coleslaw. Now, for this ultimate burger thing, or the burger blend, if you don't like mayo coleslaw, use just a vinegar coleslaw. I bet that would be really good as a topping too. And add whatever you want. We'll get to the topping part later. Not too much later. I'm going to form these into burgers. And I'm only going to cook one of each. So if I forget which is which, at least I know if they're both good, then I know the other cabbage worked. So we're going to cook one of the tatsoi, one of the regular cabbage, and one from frozen on the grill with the assistance and actually with all the grilling done by Steve, my husband. So that's next. Hold on. Stay tuned. Okay, here we go. We're videoing. And look, Boo's helping.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Already falling apart, the regular one.
No. That's weird. Well, we'll see. That's the regular, that's the tatsoi, that's the from frozen. We'll see how it goes. Okay, we're going in for the cheese melt and toasting the buns, and the dog always gets some cheese. Okay, so here we are. This is the burger. Has a little split in it, but I think it's just because I didn't form it well. And the other burgers look good. Oh, the one with the tatsu looks great. Yay. Okay, so you can use different kinds of cabbage. I will put more specifics about how to do with the more moist cabbage when I post this on my culinaryq.com website. But, okay, so here's what I do. I'm going to put some tomato. Actually, I'm going to wash my hands first. Sorry. Don't need to waste your time. But, you know, we're going to be eating this stuff. That's a clean towel. Okay, so basically, probably want a smaller. Let's see how we're going to do this. I can use my hands because this is lovely Cabot cheese. If you can get local, even more local than Cabot, go for it. Like for the farmer's market in Wakefield, Cambridge cheddar from Jane is great. But, you know, I've tested this with just, you know, well, I use Cabot cheddar, but it's cheddar. So this is just a kind of a plain, simple thing. I got some sliced tomato. I have, let me use a different spoon. Probably about a quarter cup of cabbage. A little bit more. And makes it messy, but what's a barbecue or what's a hamburger that's not messy? Haha. A little extra cabbage. It's just coleslaw. Coleslaw's good. And, okay, here I have notes somewhere. So my husband says, if you don't put if you want a more McDonald's kind of flavor, just put ketchup, don't put the sliced tomato. Or you can put just tomato, or you can put, you know, ketchup and sliced tomato. Maybe add a little relish, whatever you want to do. But just, look at that. Oh, here, let me bring it over. A little bit better here. Oops. So this is it. These are these burgers. They're so good. We've already had them multiple times. Like I said, this is the one with the regular thing, and I didn't form it well enough, so it had a little split in it. So be careful. Make sure you form the burgers smoothly around. The one with the tatsu worked great. And from frozen, well, how's about that? So if you thought it looked complicated to make this stuff, you know, make a double, triple batch of it someday. Make the patties, throw them in the freezer. Wrap them in a little saran wrap, throw them in a plastic bag, try to press the air out, and then you have instant, you know, blended burgers anytime you want. And you can put anything on them. And you don't have to put the onion and mushroom and cabbage in the burger mix with the mushrooms. You can just do the mushrooms. But that was my little take on my entry to the contest. Just to add more veggies. So, I think they look pretty darn good. We'll see. I'm sure they'll be good. Look, I'll make sure I keep track of which one's which. On the right is regular. That's the one with the tatsu, and that's the one from frozen. And I will give a taste test later on the website. I'm done with the video. Good night. Thank you.